Okay, I'm going to do a quick summary on what you need to know in trigonometry. So this is the first part. So here I'm going to focus on reduction. I'm going to focus on double angles, compound angles, and we're also going to look at the Pythagoras type problems and the general solutions. Okay, so let us start with reduction. Okay, I'm just going to draw a Cartesian plane here. And this is 0, that's 90, that's 180, 270, and then 360. And in between 0 and 90, we have quadrant 1, 90 to 180, that's the second quadrant. Then 180 to 270, that's the third quadrant. And then 270 to 360, that is the fourth quadrant. And in quadrant number 1, we know that all of them are positive. Sine is positive, cos is positive, tan is positive. In quadrant 2, only sine is positive. In quadrant 3, only tan is positive. In quadrant 4, only cos is positive. Okay, so in terms of angles, you're going to say angle theta is quadrant 1. And in quadrant 2, we'll do 180 minus theta. In quadrant 3, it's 180 plus theta. Then in quadrant 4 is 360 minus theta. Then if you say 360 plus theta, you're back to quadrant number 1. Let's move on. Now, if I say to you, work out the value of sine 180 minus theta. Right. We know that the answer is going to be sine theta. So it's only a matter of whether it's positive or negative. So that's 180 minus theta is telling us the quadrant. So here the quadrant is quadrant number 2. And we know that sine is positive. Therefore, this is positive sine theta. If I say work out the value of cos 180 plus theta, we know that answer will be cos theta. So it's just a matter of whether cos is negative or positive. And 180 plus theta, we know that is quadrant number 3. And quadrant number 3, cos is negative. The only thing that's positive is tan. So that is negative cos theta. Let's look at another one. Let's say now you are given sine theta minus 180 degrees. Okay. Now we know that theta minus 180 degrees is not in standard form. We don't get theta minus 180 in any of these quadrants. So that's where now we have to use the negative angles. And the negative angle that the only negative angle that become positive is cos. Basically, we have sine negative theta equal to negative sine theta. Cos negative theta equal to positive cos theta. And then tan negative theta equal to negative tan theta. Okay. Now we're going to use the law of algebra that says if I have b minus a, I want to change this to be a minus b. I just take out a negative, then I swap a and b, so that's a minus b. But if it was b plus a, both positive, then you just swap without taking out a negative, we just say a plus b. So here we do the same thing. Sine theta minus 180, you're just going to write sine, and then you take out a negative, then this is 180 minus theta. Now you sort out this negative, Sine of a negative angle is negative sine, so you write negative sine theta. Right. Negative sine, so it's negative sine 180 minus theta. Now you're going to work with this. So 180 minus theta, that is quadrant number 2, and quadrant number 2 sign is positive. And then you multiply by this negative, that becomes negative sine theta. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's say now you are given sine squared 360 minus 8. Okay, what I like to do when you get something like that is just to write sine 360 minus theta, then you put another bracket and you put the square. Now sine 360 minus theta, that is, we know that this is going to be sine theta, and then all squared. Now it's the question of whether it's positive or negative. You look at this 360 minus theta, quadrant number 4, and quadrant 4 sign is negative, so this becomes negative sine theta all squared, and if you square negative it becomes positive, so this becomes sine squared theta. Okay, lastly on reduction, the 90 minus theta and the 90 plus theta. So whenever you get that, you will have to change to a co-function. So the co-function. Okay. So the co-function of cos is sine. The co-function of sine is cos. Okay. So let's look at this. For you have cos 90 minus theta, sine 90 minus theta, sine 90 plus theta, and then lastly cos 90 plus theta. Right. For these three, all of them just change to a co-function. Right. So meaning that cos 90 minus theta is going to be sine theta. Sine 90 minus theta will be what? Will be cos theta. And then sine 90 plus theta, this is going to be what? It's going to be cos theta. Now when it comes to the last one now, cos 90 plus theta, this then changes to a negative sine theta. So that's the only one that becomes negative. Cos 90 plus theta is negative sine theta. And then those three will just change to a co-function without changing the sign. Okay, we'll continue in the